So it has been 3 years of me owning the Fanatec CSL direct drive wheel, and I plan to make this video for you guys to give you my honest experience of driving with this wheel in multiple sim racing titles. So without any further ado, let's get started. When I started my sim racing journey probably around 5 years back, I didn't have much of a choice, so I went with Logitech G29, the gear-driven wheel, just so I wanted to get into this genre to try out sim racing. And then slowly I started to upgrade myself of owning a Thrustmaster T300, which was a belt-driven wheel. But I was really curious on how the direct drive wheel feels like in sim racing. So back then, Fanatec was the only one who made this budget-friendly direct drive wheel. So I just went with that, and here I am owning the CSL DD for around 3 years now. There are two variants of the Fanatec CSL DD, one which is compatible with PC, Xbox and PlayStation, and the other one which is only compatible with PC and Xbox. I went with the second one because I don't think I plan to play sim racing titles on the PlayStation. Then there is this additional power supply unit called the BoostKit, which takes your wheel from 5 to 8 Nm torque, which I think is completely unnecessary from Fanatec. When it comes to direct drive, I really think the power output should be much more than 5 Nm, because when I bought this wheel, I didn't buy the BoostKit, and I didn't feel any difference coming from a belt-driven Thrustmaster T300. So buying a BoostKit again was an additional purchase from my end, and I really think that Fanatec should consider having this BoostKit as a default with the CSL DD. So yes, now I have two power units. When it comes to wheel choices, I think Fanatec has a good ecosystem with different kind of wheels compatible with all their wheelbases and their new quick release system. So again, when I bought this wheel, it didn't have the new QR2 release system. So I had the old QR1 release system, which had a quite eminent issue. The old QR1 quick release system had this issue that the wheel has to be screwed on this shaft, and also this shaft on the wheel side has to be tightened up by this unit, which only had one screw to keep it in place. So that led to constant disconnection in between races, which was really frustrating. Whereas with the new QR2 quick release system, the shaft is held in place by two screw system to the wheelbase, and also the wheels on the other side doesn't have to be screwed together, so the connection is quite stable. So the upgrade came in two units, one with the wheel side, which is screwed on the wheel. I think Fanatec now ships all their wheels with this QR2 release system, and the other one is the wheel base side, which I just showed you right now. So yes, now I have two. The QR2 on the wheel side, which is made up of aluminum, is worth the upgrade because it's quite stable and smooth and sturdy to attach it to the wheelbase, whereas the plastic one that gets shipped with most of the wheels from Fanatec is not as smooth when you attach and detach from the wheelbase. As far as my experience so far, I would say the 8 Nm Fanatec CSL DD is really good for the price I paid for around 3 years back. The Logitech G29 was quite low powered, and it made so much noises when the force feedback kicked in. Also, the wheel suffered a lot of clippings. For those who are unaware of the term clipping, it is when the game produces spikes of torque to the wheel, but due to hardware limitations, the wheel is not able to produce that much power. So basically, you lose the sense of all the force feedback in that area of the track. Also, the CSL DD have passive cooling, so during long sessions, the wheel does not lose power, and I'm able to sense all the feedback I need in endurance races. Like for example, when I had the Thrustmaster T300, after like an hour of driving, I can clearly tell the wheel is getting dampened due to overheating. I would also highlight that the quality of force feedback highly depends on the settings you set in the Fanatec software. Since I do not have the force feedback strength in game all the way to 100%, I do not get a lot of clippings from the wheel. With the selection of wheels from Fanatec, I also have a round wheel for rally titles and to drive road cars. I would say sim racing is also about your own perception. Yes, good wheelbases can give you more power and headroom for those high frequency force feedback which are needed, or I would say necessary, to get a detailed feeling of the road surfaces, curbs, and the tires. But as I said, lowering down the FFB strength in the Fanatec CSL DD did give me all the necessary feedback I require both in racing as well as rallying. So using this wheelbase for more than 3 years now, I am quite satisfied with the purchase, and I would probably use this wheel for a couple of years more. Having said that, if you're planning to buy any Fanatec products, I would highly recommend you to go with the 8 Newton meter, with the BoostKit, so that you have the direct drive feeling. And if your budget allows, maybe go with the Club Sport DD. I think that gives around 12 Newton meter peak torque, and that would be sufficient enough for most of the people out there. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Till then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.